I want to bring in CBS News Justice reporter Paula Reid. She is also in Charlottesville. Paula, there has been some criticism of the police response to that violence in Charlottesville on Saturday. Some experts have said they appear to be outnumbered. They appear to be slow to respond. What can you tell us about the response from law enforcement?
Stephanie, we don't even have to look to the experts. We were there during that rally, and throughout our reporting, we kept being asked about the police response, the police presence. I looked around, they were nowhere to be seen. When we first arrived at this rally, this was a planned protest. We had interviewed the mayor, they had a plan. We first arrived, there was somewhat of a police presence. But as the rally became increasingly violent, the police disappeared. There was no line to fall back behind. And that's interesting because we've covered other rallies here in Charlottesville. For example, the KKK was here about 6 weeks ago. And when we covered that rally, there was a heavy police presence. They had barriers. It was clear which side was supposed to be in which area. The two sides were not allowed to just go at each other, dispensing tear gas and lobbing water bottles for an hour like they were here. Now, Stephanie, eventually the police did arrive at the rally. They pushed everyone out of the park and into the streets. That is, of course, when that deadly hit and run occurred. So now there are a lot of questions about why the police handled it this way and whether or not a different approach could have saved lives.
All right, let's take a different angle on this. President Trump spoke earlier today and he condemned the attacks. He also called out the KKK and white supremacy in that speech. What can we expect to hear in the coming days from the Justice Department and the FBI?
The FBI has been actually pretty accessible on this case since they opened their federal civil rights investigations just a few days ago. This morning, the Attorney General appeared on all the morning programs, including CBS this morning. He promised to give this investigation his full resources. And that's really the most important thing, is that this investigation will now have all the resources of the FBI and the Justice Department behind it, even if it's not clear exactly what federal law this particular offense would fall under. Many people have asked, is this a hate crime? Is this domestic terrorism? The problem is, Stephanie, that domestic terrorism, that's not actually a federal law. We have certainly seen incidents that can be described as domestic terrorism, but they've been charged under other laws. For example, the Boston Marathon bombing, they were charged with using a weapon of mass destruction, and they were charged with murder. In terms of a hate crime, the hate crime laws really only allow you to be charged if you're targeting people because of their race, their national origin, or their sexual orientation. Here, it's not clear how exactly the Justice Department is going to be able to charge him. Prosecutors may have to get creative, and it would be a lot easier for them to charge him under other federal laws if they found out he was working with anyone else in those groups to commit this act.
Yeah, and of course it's especially significant to follow that part of the story because it will matter when and if it comes to a sentencing phase. Paula Reid for us in Charlottesville, Virginia. Paula, thank you.